guys, what is up? My name is Jeracraft, and finally today I'm going to be teaching you guys step by step on how to add a ceiling across the top of any Minecraft world using, of course, the glorious worldpainter program. This will allow you to create some of the biggest and most epic Minecraft caves you could possibly put together. Now the funny thing is, I've been using worldpainter now for over 6 years, and only now have I recently discovered that this tool actually exists, which is just crazy. And you guys know I've been using this technique in practically all my latest projects, which has led to, of course, a ton of questions. So I thought I'd put this video together and finally teach you guys how to create the perfect Minecraft cavern. So without further ado, let's begin today's adventure. Now before we begin, obviously some of you guys might not even know what worldpainter is all about. So if you do want to learn all of the basics, just head over to my last worldpainter video, which surprisingly has over 1 million views. This video will teach you everything you need to know, and links can be found in the description. So let's start today's tutorial video. Just head over to File and select New World. Now, seeing as the main focus is to create a giant cave, I'm going to start by changing the surface material to stone, get rid of beaches, and change the surface height level to 1, just to make sure that we can create the biggest cave possible. So now you guys can start designing the surface of the cave. You can pretty much design this using any kind of style. You could go for a nether cave, a mushroom cavern. Even I would really like to try designing an ice style project using the same idea. But right now, one really important step is to actually go around the edges of the map, making sure you create mountains that actually reach the Minecraft max build height. This will ensure that once you add that ceiling, everything will close off and should come together nicely. Now the very best part about using this tool is that you can actually design the ceiling in the same way that you would design the surface, which is just crazy and opens up a world of possibilities. You can add trees within the cave, lava, water, it's really just down to your preference. Now I do recommend, if you are designing a cavern, to use a high intensity brush to add in some spikes. These spikes will eventually become the stalagmites and stalactites that will add a lot of extra detail to your cave. Some of these spikes can also join together to the ceiling to make for some incredible looking archways to really help your cavern come to life. Now once you guys are completely satisfied with the surface of the cavern, we can now move on to adding that ceiling. This is where things start to get really interesting. Back in the day, I used to use the Add Custom Cave tool to add in those caverns, but now if we actually head over to Edit and select Dimensions, you can actually add a ceiling to the surface. You can also add your own custom nether and end dimensions, but for today, let's just click on Add Surface to Ceiling. So how does this actually work? Well, you're pretty much designing a brand new worldpainter map. The only difference is that everything you create will be flipped upside down. Yes, everything. That means even trees, which again is absolutely mind-blowing and opens up a huge world of possibilities. You have the complete and utter free will to design the cavern however you wish. Now guys, there are some very crucial tips and ideas that you need to take into consideration if you really want this to work out. First of all, you can click on the View tab to switch between the ceiling and the surface, allowing you to design both dimensions freely. But most importantly, you want to make sure you design the ceiling in the same way that you designed the surface. So once again, I'm going to use a high intensity brush to make my way around the edges of the map. Once you have that done, you're going to notice that there is this sort of cross-hatching pattern surrounding the map. This is actually worldpainter letting you know that the surface is merging together with the ceiling. I mean, this is just as good as it gets. You do need to understand though that most of the design work is really just down to trial and error. But with a little practice and experimenting, eventually you're going to be able to design some of the craziest looking caves imaginable. And of course guys, once you're happy with both the surface and the ceiling, you can head over to File, Export, and click on the Export as New Minecraft Map. Now on the right hand side, you're going to notice a new tab called Surface Ceiling. This will allow you to edit some of the underground materials, resources, and other layers you wish to edit. And once you guys are done with that, once again click on the Export button to finally take a look at the finishing product. Now guys, bear in mind I do have the brightness setting set pretty high. If you do want to do this yourself, you're going to have to head over to your .minecraft folder, double click options, and over here you can change the level of gamma. Mine is set to 13, yours should be set to 1. You can always change this back and forth while you're editing, it's really just down to your preference. Now there's always the option of building an open cavern. This is a slight bit more challenging, but nonetheless it can be done and it is one of my personal favorites. Now getting this done is a slight bit more challenging, so I'll try and walk you through this step by step. First of all, head over to the ceiling and lower the terrain right around the center of the cavern until you reach bedrock level. Once you're happy with the initial crater, the next step is to head back to exporting the map. This time around you're going to click on the surface ceiling tab and select bottomless world. This will actually remove the bedrock and leave you with a single layer of stone or whatever material it is you're using. So the next step is to select the terrain tab and actually create a new custom material. Just scroll up to the very top and select air blocks. After that, click on OK and make sure you have the spray paint tab selected, and on the bottom right corner you're going to make sure we have this set to at or below 0, and as you paint the bottom of the crater, as you can see, it replaces that single layer of stone to air blocks and finally creating a massive open crater. Now honestly guys, if you have any questions whatsoever, feel free to leave a comment below and I will try to reply to as many of you as possible. I hope you guys learned something new today and now know how I created some of these epic creations. Please don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will catch you in the next one. This is Jeracraft, over and out.